I'm praying for Kanye West. That's the weirdest thing I've ever said in my whole life. Sorry, I have a last little bite of Quest bar in my mouth. I was just gonna say something really quick that I said all day yesterday in my classes. I put that Kanye West song, that Love Lockdown, which I love. It's an older song, but I love the particular remix of it because it's a mashup with the Chainsmokers DJs mix, some original they put out. And I did then it just like randomly, you know how like when you do things like it just becomes like stream of consciousness, you just start like thinking about other things. And I just started thinking about Kanye West for a second, which is so weird. And I just felt so sorry for him. Is that weird? Like I thought to myself, here he is, somebody with all the promise in the world, so incredibly talented, so creative. You know, I think a lot of that narcissistic behavior that he has, a lot of it I think is for show. I truly don't think in real life he's probably, I mean, I'm sure there are traces of that. But, I mean, he's just locked up. I mean, he just had a major mental breakdown. Like, just a complete and total breakdown. And it's like under psychiatric watch in the hospital in LA. And I mean, you just think like, I mean, people, it doesn't matter how much money you have, how much fame, and if anything, I think extreme fame like that and extreme money just completely pulls you so far out of reality that you just lose your grounding altogether, unless, in my opinion, you have Jesus deeply rooted. And I'm not talking about just a little Jesus on Sunday. You better have Jesus every moment of every day to just even survive. I don't know. I just all of a sudden like was really burdened for Kanye West. That is so weird to say. Like that just seems like, but you know, I play a lot of his music because I actually, funny enough, not all of it. Some of it is just even too much for me, but I just love the raw kind of honesty of it, of him. Like there's just something to me that's very unique and special about him. Again, some of it is just so gross, like whatever, but not all of it. And I don't know. I just thought, I mean, how much worse must it be to have some kind of breakdown like that and be in the midst of a breakdown knowing you have everything that the world could ever offer you. You know what I mean? And yet, no, and then being in the middle of it and being like, and it's still not enough.
Yeah, because really that provides hope for a lot of people. Even though if they got it, they would see that it wouldn't fill up that void. But they were like, well, if I ever hit the lottery or I make a bunch of money or I do whatever, that somehow in some weird way gives people hope. But he's got it all, so he knows that going to that is not going to do anything.
Yeah. I went on this kind of weird rant on Snap the other night because I just feel like obviously we watch a lot of YouTube, but a lot of these YouTubers who have all the success in the world at these very young age, all this like money and, you know, all this like, you know, businesses with all like companies and, collabs and things. And they all have major anxiety. Like, I'm talking about debilitating, like all of a sudden they can't fly on planes. They can't function in life without like Xanax and all this other. And again, I am not making light of any kind of mental illnesses. I mean, this is very serious, but it's like, I just feel like, oh man, never has there been a more need for people to find God and to be rooted in things that are real, because the world is just so empty. I think that's what and especially this time of year, you know, when, you know, Christians really, we celebrate the birth of Jesus and, you know, really celebrate our faith and the hope that it brings. I don't know, like I've just been thinking about that a lot lately. I had somebody, after I did that Snap rant, she, I mean, it wasn't like I wasn't being mean, I was just like talking about all this, and she private messaged me and said, I really appreciate you talking about this because I actually suffer from severe anxiety and I have from a small child, but the only way I'm ever able to get through it, especially if I'm in the middle of like a panic attack or something, is knowing that I have Jesus and that I have faith, and I know that even when I feel out of control and whatever that you experience when you have those severe panic attacks, she's like, I always just, as long as I concentrate that, you know, God has all of it under control. He has it all in his hands. He has it all, you know, and that's able to be like a real help to her. And that's the thing that I'm not saying I don't think as believers you're exempt from those kind of things, you know what I mean? But the fact that, I mean, in addition to listening to doctors and you know, because a lot of these things are major chemical imbalances and trying to balance, you know, your body, and that you have, you know, the backing of a spiritual like relationship with, you know, with like the most powerful being in the universe, in my opinion. So
that's good. And you know who has a lot of good things to say about this? Russell Brand.
Yes. By the way, if you don't, you know, Russell Brand, the comedian, crazy, that used to be married to Katy Perry and all that. He actually has a YouTube channel called The Trues, the TREWS.
True
Yeah.
News.
Yeah, like the True News, but it's called The Trues. And we've been watching it for a couple years now.
Yeah. But he took a break. He took like a year break.
Right. But we watched it for a while before he even took a break, and now he's back. And he just takes on these like topics, whether it be, a lot of it's political. You know, he lives in the UK, so it's a lot of like, you know, like world news. But man, he is a really smart guy. Like, you would never.
He hit the nail on the head about the Kanye anxiety thing. He was just saying a generation that we're the whole thing, the millennial generation, and I think it applies to everybody, but particularly they're the ones who are like in the YouTube spotlight and all that. But just that, you know, that all this materialism, it will not satisfy you.
Yeah.
It just will not.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you just have to. It has to be something spiritual. Now, he's not going to say Jesus or whatever, but it's clearly, in my opinion, that's what he's talking about. He doesn't even know it.
Yeah. It is really true. And he's like I don't know, I think he's like a Buddhist, or I don't know. He's like some kind of something, I don't know. But he is a very spiritual kind of person. So he's just he's got a lot of wise. He throws some wisdom down on that channel.
Oh, yeah.
And I love, because he's so not politically correct. He's so honest about it. And delivers it in such a very amazing Russell Brand way. So go check that out. Yeah, I don't know. This was like a random little thing, but I've just been like really thinking about that. And if you know somebody, you know, in your life, or you have access to people that suffer from like anxiety and depression, and just encourage them, like, you know, that obviously to always follow what your doctor says and stuff, but to, you know, I believe, like, you know, if you want to seek deeper answers, that you will be found in that desire. And I don't know. So I'm praying for Kanye West. That's the weirdest thing I've ever said in my whole life.
But that's not weird.
I know. Yeah.
Speaking of, we have a couple people that left in comments today. Monique is at a family, her grandmother's dying, so she went to Georgia.
Oh,
and now
I'm
she can't get back to her family because of the snowstorms.
Oh no.
So,
well, I hope your grandmother is
so
okay.
And then I believe, I don't have it in front of me, and I think it would be unwise for me to look it up. Maybe it's it's Svan Vit from
from Sweden.
Yeah.
Right?
But remember, she said Iceland. That's her name.
Iceland.
I don't think she lives there anymore. I think she lives in Switzerland, maybe. Correct us if you're right or wrong. Anyway, she's having surgery tomorrow. She has a herniated something in her back.
Oh, well, we're gonna pray for you.
Yeah,
so
that's what she asked for.
Those of you who are believers, or even if you're not, send a good thought to both of them. Send a prayer up. We'll be praying for both of you in the Ward household. So
that's right.
On that note, let's go ride some bikes.